Thanks from one Adam now to the other. Adam Wisniewski from Breakfast, Life, and Dinner is here to give us some confidence in the kitchen this morning. And good morning. And I'm really excited about this one.
Yeah, well,
talking cake.
We're talking cake decorating. We're talking baking. In general, it's going into the Christmas holiday season. It's kind of the cooking season.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of phone calls from parents who want to have their kids, and the kids want baking classes or decorating classes, so I thought I'd come out and talk a little bit about that.
All right, so let's do that.
Right.
What's the first thing to know about cake?
Well, so the first thing to know is go to the store and grab some of the store-bought stuff and get going. Just try it. You know, you can get the store-bought frosting, a cake mix. You can get some disposable bags and some reusable tips. And for like $10, $12, you could be putting together a couple of cakes this weekend and just try it and you know, take your hand and get in there and do it.
So really not expensive. We're not talking about an investment that's going to break the bank here.
Right. You know, you can get all the fancy tools, and, you know, I do sometimes get the fancy tools, but for the most part, you know, a jar of sprinkles and an afternoon where you're making cupcakes, it's a lot of fun, especially for kids who are just getting started, where they can produce something, they can do something that's artistic, they get to eat it. There you go.
Very good. So what are we going to do first?
So first of all, you know, you can buy the store-bought stuff, but homemade a lot of times tastes a lot better. And this is a buttercream frosting.
Ooh.
And so literally we're going to cream butter, which means you're going to mix it up until it's whipped, right? So you can do this by hand. I used to use a big fork. You can do it in a stand mixer or a hand mixer, and just whip it until it's nice and soft.
And that's just butter right there?
That's just butter. And so then what we're going to do is we're going to add a pinch of salt to the unsalted butter.
Just a little bit.
We're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla to give a little flavor. And you can just smell how powerful that is.
Alrighty, yeah.
And then we're going to put in a cup of butter, and then 4 cups of powdered sugar is the recipe that I'm using.
Gotcha.
Right? And then we're just going to slowly and gently, so we don't powder sugar the entire studio, we're going to slowly and gently start mixing that in. And when it's combined, usually you would wait until you've combined all that. And then you put about a tablespoon and a half of cream in there. And I'm going to add that just to move things along. But what you're going to do is you're just going to gently mix all of that until it comes together into a consistency of frosting.
And then that's your basic frosting, right? You know,
right. This is a basic vanilla buttercream frosting, and you can make cream cheese frostings. You can make, you know, add chocolate to it. You can add food color.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, so you can start experimenting. Start with the basics. Start where you are is what I tell my students, and then just try it. So, you know, a bag of powdered sugar is not that expensive.
Yeah.
You don't have to make this much at a time. You can make a 1/4 cup of butter and a cup of powdered sugar and just experiment. So.
And then after this is all mixed up, really, it's gonna taste like a vanilla buttercream frosting, all from just a teaspoon of vanilla that you put in there.
Teaspoon, yeah. There's a lot of flavors in the world that are pretty strong, and vanilla is one of them. So you want to go gently with that. But, you know, if you're trying to make a real strong vanilla flavor, or, you know, maybe you're making a gingerbread, you need a little molasses and some cinnamon in there, it's just going to be whatever you need.
Absolutely. And I see we're not beating this with a mixer. You're just doing this with a fork.
Right. You could. You know, I can incorporate it by hands because I want it to, you know, get to a certain consistency before I start really putting some muscle into it. And a lot of people will get out the hand mixer at this point, or get out, you know, put it in a stand mixer. But, you know, you can with your arms, because, you know, before we had electricity and machines, this
That's
is how
it was done.
Right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm just going to start mixing that. And you can, you know, you can smell it and taste it at this point. And I'll just keep mixing it until we get the right consistency. But what I want people to do is try this stuff. You have a very simple list of ingredients. You've got a very simple technique. We're going to put this together, and we're going to decorate a couple of things for the second segment. But generally speaking, once I get this whipped into a consistency, go ahead and grab a fork and try that.
Oh, yeah. Because it's already kind of starting to take shape.
Yeah.
You know.
And so that's the taste, that's the texture, that's the flavor. So
it's frosting.
It's frosting.
Wow.
And it's creamy.
It really is.
Right? And it's got a flavor to it, and it's not too overpoweringly sweet.
So this is if you want to make your own versus the store-bought stuff, but it's really the same stuff.
It's essentially the same stuff. There's, you know, like this is very dense. I have to warm and to thin this sometimes if I want to get it to whip to the same consistency. And then, you know, the decorating stuff, you know, it flows a little bit better, but it's a little more expensive in these packages. So, you know, grab the ingredients that are already in your fridge and give it a whirl.
Very good. So in the second segment, we're going to talk about the cake.
Right, we've got quite a supply going over there.
Yeah,
so
you can't see it yet, but we'll show you that.
Right on.
All right, we'll be back in about 20, 30 minutes.
All
Thank you
right,
so
we'll
much.
see you then.
We'll be right back with more of the morning show right after this break.